So we are here in the South on a special day for me, and a special day for South Trinidad, and of course for all of Trinidad and Tobago. So we thank you, John, for this structure that you plan to put here. So this is the ceremonial opening, and I thank you for your invitation to be here back on another day like this, good Lord permitting. I thank you for that invitation in advance. So we'll have to plan, Saddam, way in advance. This project has already moved through planning, through engagement, approvals, investment preparation, and is now set to enter construction. And I note your warning, Mr. Aboud, to your persons in charge of the construction, get it done in time and on budget. So this is what gives this moment its importance. Over the past decade, under previous regimes, projects were announced, timelines were set, expectations raised, but construction did not begin and delivery did not follow. So what people expect now is very simple. Projects must move beyond announcement, projects must be built, and projects must create real opportunities for the people of our land. Today I think it marks a shift into execution. It reflects a government ensuring that development is carried through in a series and structured way, so people can see results and feel the benefits. Mr. Aboud outlined the key elements. Construction is expected, you said, within 60 days, and we plan to hold you to that together with your team. It is a huge investment, $220 million. What will this mean with this investment here, the Hilton Garden in Brand? Mr. John Aboud noted that under this government, engagement was timely, decisions were taken, and investors were given confidence. That tells us something very important, because investment is moving, projects are progressing, and the partnership between the state and the private sector is working. This is very important. The state should not be in the business, if we can avoid it, in building hotels, in running hotels. The state has other important things to do in education and healthcare, so many other areas. So it's a wonderful step as we move forward today for that partnership with the private sector. As you know, I know somebody will ask me, it's not in my speech, but I will say the same thing here, which is that we are moving into public-private partnerships. There is a project to build many houses through the HDC, and under review by the OPR, we'll take their guidance to make sure that gets done, $3.4 billion. But I want you to know it is not government money. It is not your taxpayers' dollars will be spent. It is very important to note that that model is a public-private partnership. So private sector, the money will not come from the taxpayers' pockets, but will come from the private sector. So that's a really major, to me, development as we move forward for investment. So against this background, private and public sectors working, it is important to understand the full significance of this development. Mr. Aboud told us, and I repeat it because it's major, Minister Kama is sitting next to me and saying, $220 million. We thank you for that confidence for the investment of $220 million. Can we thank Superior Hotels, please? We note, based on Mr. Aboud's words, that under my government, engagement was timely, decisions were taken, and investors, as I say again, given confidence. Now, it is very important to note what this will do. So the $220 million investment, what will that do? Let us understand the full significance of this development. This project will bring employment, jobs. Everywhere we go, we know it's about jobs, and we are working assiduously to create sustainable jobs. We're not just talking about a 5 days or a 10 days. We are working towards sustainable jobs. And when you make these transitions, there's some pain at the start, but at the end of it, in the fullness of time, there's much to be gained. So it will create approximately 400 jobs during construction. 400 jobs during construction. It doesn't stop there. After construction, 150 jobs, permanent jobs, will be created. So again, we thank you for that. Jobs, jobs, jobs. It goes further. This project, this investment, will support training in hospitality in that sector. It will create opportunities for farmers and small businesses to participate in the supply chain. That is the kind of investment that supports my government's commitment to creating sustainable jobs for the people of our land. The location here as well is location also within a corridor of major national infrastructure. This includes, think about it, here we are in the midst of major infrastructural projects and already built. So this includes the Brian Lara Stadium, Taruba, not far away, the Aquatic Center, the Cycling Velodrome, the Couva Children's Hospital, the Mani Ramchand Stadium, and the Point Lisas Industrial Estate, the Pointe-a-Pierre Refinery, and of course the UWI DB campus. So all these are major projects and built-in construction in this area. This positioning, therefore, allows this hotel to support a wide range of economic activity across sport, healthcare, industry, education, and business. This, therefore, is not simply a hotel. In my respectful view, it is an economic asset. And the location in South Trinidad matters because this region of strong potential has not consistently received sustained investment. That has changed and will continue to change. Let me speak plainly. Public confidence was undermined under the previous regime. Their record is clear. For example, in 2022, a 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel in Piarco was launched with a completion date of 2024. That did not materialize. In 2023, a 70 million Maracas Bay hotel was announced. Again, that was not completed. In 2024, a Hilton Garden Inn at this very location was announced in 2024, with construction expected 2025. That did not begin. A 500 million Marriott project in Tobago, announced in 2021, never happened. In 2017, a Hilton project in San Fernando again was announced, construction never happened. This pattern eroded confidence. That is why today matters so much. And again, I praise Mr. Aboud for his commitment that he will get his people going to make sure this starts and this is completed within your time frame, give or take some days or more. Projects now move from announcement to construction to completion. The results are visible. People can see them, judge them, and benefit from them. There is a clear difference. Under my UNC government, we believe our record is a proven, unprecedented. We have a track record. Promises made, promises kept. Promises made, promises kept. And so the cost of management we look at in the hotel sector, the record that we inherited from the previous government was not only of failed projects, but waste and poor stewardship. These failures carried real consequences for the people of our country. Lost public funds, missed opportunities, and projects that should have created jobs and economic activity, but did not, never happen. Again, as I say, the Hilton pool renovation costs over $8.5 million. This is in Port of Spain. The Hilton pool, only the pool, $8.5 million. Manta Lodge was left non-operational whilst millions was being spent. The Magdalena Grand Resort faced public criticism in 2022. And Napa's hotel component was never operational. This is what mismanagement looks like: money spent, no return, and the burden on you, the taxpayers of our land. That is why my government approaches projects differently. Every dollar must deliver value. Every project must produce real outcomes for people. And there is another record, one that demonstrates that hospitality projects can be completed and complex matters resolved under serious leadership. Under my government, 2010 to 2015, we completed the Magdalena Grant, and it was open. The Hyatt arbitration secured over $334 million for the state. This shows that when my government speaks on hospitality, investment, and economic development, it does so from credible experience, a proven track record of delivery, and securing value for the people of our country. This project, then, also delivers on the UNC Manifesto promises a commitment to economic transformation through jobs, investment, and growth. It delivers employment during construction and after completion. It brings investment and expansion. It creates opportunities for local enterprise, and it strengthens training and skills development. This also reflects, as Mr. Aboud pointed out, and it's very important to note, the revitalization blueprint that we've spoken about. That attracted nearly 1,000 expressions of interest, including major interests in waterfront and industrial development. This demonstrates that my government has moved beyond the stagnation of the past decade and is actively creating conditions for investment at scale. What is the role then of the state, and what is the national significance of this project, one of many to come? Mr. Aboud, again, correctly noted that projects of this scale require a state that is responsive, coordinated, and decisive. That is what has occurred here. And I note that this afternoon, by some, is described as historic. That will only be so if what begins here is completed, opened, and brought into operation to serve TNT. That requires commitment, and I urge all involved to carry this project right through to completion, not only as an investment, but as a responsibility to the people of our country. That commitment is already evident in the work behind the scenes. I want to thank the ministries, the various ministries, the technocrats, the planners, the organizers. I thank Mr. Aboud and all partners, including FCB, Grant Thornton Orbit Solutions Limited, Hammersmith and Company, the EMA Authority, and all consultants and architects. Your commitment is recognized and valued. As I close, you have only just begun, Mr. Aboud. Next on the drawing board will be a hotel in Tobago, again by Superior Hotels. Let's give them a round of applause. So, today I mark another year under the glorious sun of Trinidad and Tobago. I reflect not only on what we begin here today, but on the long road that has brought me here. From a poor little girl in Superior, rural Superior, walking barefoot to school, people don't believe it, but it's true, to this moment of ultimate service, it has always been a journey grounded in purpose. Over 40 years ago, I entered public life, not for position, because I saw the suffering and neglect in so many of our communities. And I resolved to fight for equality, to fight for dignity, and the right of every citizen to progress. That promise has never left me, and today I say with gratitude, it has been fulfilled in part by your project, Mr. Aboud, and your partners. And so, my friends, I assure you that my work is not finished. I have many days to go in front of me, God willing. As the words, Mr. Smith started with a poem he got from his father. Well, I'll give you one that has always sustained me, from Robert Frost. As the words of that favorite poem, Robert Frost says, "The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. The woods are lovely and dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep." So I continue always putting God in front, walking faithfully behind, and dutifully serving the people of this nation with all the love in my heart. I take one moment to thank the many persons. My phone has been buzzing with WhatsApps and texts and emails. I want to thank all those of you who have sent me your blessings for today and the days ahead. I thank you. I thank all who made this possible. And above all, I thank God for His merciful, wondrous blessings and for giving me continued strength to serve my beloved country. May the good Lord continue to bless on each and every one of you, and may the good Lord continue to bless Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you very much.